But the first thing I want to talk about is lead generation really a problem? I can guarantee that 70% of the people watching this video now and watching the live show now have more than enough leads. Hello and welcome to the AskDME show live for June 2021. This is episode 5 of the AskDME shows, and the focus this week is a popular, clearly by the questions that have been sent in, a very popular subject to cover, and that's unstoppable lead generation for your business. So looking at every area of lead generation for businesses, and certainly the questions that have come in and been sent in over the past week are diverse and show how people think about lead generation. So we're going to cover all the elements of lead generation and really hopefully answer those questions and give you things to take away. Now, through the show, as with all of these shows that we've been running, if you're watching through the LinkedIn live event, then the LinkedIn event has its own chat. So make sure you go to the chat area. It should be down this side of your screen. Go to the live chat area and you can engage with the show live. We'll see comments and questions coming in here. So make sure you use that facility and enjoy the show. Okay, let's get going. I'll just share my slides. So there we go. So topic area this week, as I say, all the questions that have come in have all been about the pressing subject of lead generation. And it's something that we talk a lot about with clients. Obviously, it's one of the key cornerstones to business growth is having effective lead generation. And it's something that I think every business struggles with at some time. So it's certainly a topic, as I say, from the questions that have come in, it's certainly a topic that you're all really interested in. I did actually post the poll on my own personal LinkedIn post with a poll really looking at what people felt was their best source of leads at the moment. Obviously, having gone through COVID, gone through lockdown, I expected people to have moved away from some of their traditional lead sources and be relying on a different source of leads. But it was no surprise with everybody who voted that nearly 60% of you are still generating leads through referrals and through networking. So through happy customers and happy clients introducing other people to us. Referrals should always be a key source of our lead generation. So that really is down to customer marketing. That's not generating new leads at the front end of your business. It's actually taking care of your existing customers, your existing clients, so that they're generating a constant stream of referrals for you. This was followed by website and search traffic, and you'd expect that really from what we've all been through, that digital has come more and more to the fore. It's how we're all engaging, how we're all researching subjects. So again, you would expect that digital sources, and I would have put social media in there. Now, I think the low figure for social media may be more of a reflection of how a lot of businesses use social media to generate leads, rather than the fact that it's not an effective lead source. Because I would certainly say that LinkedIn, particularly for business to businesses, for any business to business organization or company, LinkedIn should be a key source of leads again, but it's using LinkedIn in the right way. And then paid ad campaigns, that to me is how you'd add predictable volume into your pipeline. So generating leads through paid ads can be highly targeted, provided that the ads are set up to be highly targeted and they're not just broad traffic that they're attracting through your website. So thank you for everyone who voted in that. It was an interesting result, but it was no real surprise to me that referrals and networking was still the best source of leads, because this is people looking at the quality of lead that comes through, and you would always expect a referral lead to be a higher quality than an inbound lead or a target account lead or even a ghosted lead. So again, the different types of leads are really important, and it's good to see that everybody is still generating referrals as the main source of their leads. So when we look at lead generation, we're looking at generating more good leads. It's one of our key philosophies that not all leads are equal. So there's a better quality lead and there's a higher volume of leads. These are usually the two areas we're working on with clients. And you can see here really how you generate more leads. So that's certainly by working on your SEO and your pay-per-click strategy. So your ads we talked about. Your social media strategy will drive more leads, and also your marketing analytics, looking at your marketing metrics and seeing where those leads come from. That's going to give you more traffic through your website. Then the question I would always ask to people is, how do you increase conversion rates on your website? So all of that, again, will be by understanding your buyer personas, having an effective content strategy, and conversion offers at the right stages. So calls to action, good conversion offers that are connecting with visitors to your website, answering their questions, and then furthering their education, if you like. So a good content conversion offer will be the key to increasing the conversion of your website traffic into actual leads in your database and CRM. Increasing the quality of lead, again, is how we nurture our leads. It's how targeted our account-based marketing activity is. If we're in a B2B space and we have a sector that we're targeting and want to generate leads from a specific sector, then again, all of this is included increasing the quality of leads. But I think this is the key thing, how we nurture the relationship with those leads and how we continually engage and share content and insights with people, and how you lead score as well, how you're going to lead qualify every lead. So you know that the only leads you're speaking to are good quality, better quality leads. So again, all of this is the process we're going to talk through today in more detail. But the first thing I want to talk about is lead generation really a problem? I can guarantee that 70% of the people watching this video now and watching the live show now have more than enough leads. They'll have more than enough website traffic coming through. It'll be a conversion problem, as in they're not converting that website traffic into leads, or it'll be the quality of the website traffic come through, and that it's not a targeted person coming through to your website. So again, I always think there's conversion issues are just as important. You need to fix all of your conversion points and make sure that everything is predictably converting as people move through your website, and also in your customer database. People have huge databases of customers, contacts, prospects, people they've spoken to over the years, lots of contacts in their CRM. And with nearly every customer we work with, we have huge opportunities in there. We start re-engaging a lot of contacts that are in their existing database, not generating new leads. So new lead generation is basically generating a totally new lead that's never heard of you, but working on what's currently in your database and your CRM. So again, think through your own lead conversion and think, where do we need to generate new leads here, or do we need to more effectively engage with our existing customers, our existing database or CRM? And get your conversion right first, and then you can add volume to that process. And this is what we talk about a lot with clients: get your conversion right first and then add volume to it. Not the other way around. A lot of people focus on lead generation as their problem, when actually it's conversion of, as I say, traffic into leads in your CRM, nurturing of those leads then into customers. So the conversion points through your sales process, all of these conversion points on your offers, on your landing pages, having the right calls to action in place, making sure that your conversion is right first and your average conversion rate is acceptable, and then add volume to it. So again, more leads, as I've said here, more leads isn't always the answer, and it probably isn't the root cause. The root cause is probably conversion first. So don't add leads into your process until you've got that conversion process sorted. Then you can add the volume, paid traffic for highly targeted traffic coming through that will convert. So again, don't look at lead generation just as a standalone thing. We need to generate more leads, because often you've got plenty in your business. Just analyze your website traffic and analyze your current database for opportunities in there. Current website traffic. So a lot of people ask us, we need to drive more traffic, and I'll look at their Google Analytics like this. I'll run a report. This is a pretty standard website here. Over the year, you can see they're generating 26,000 users over the year, visitors over the year. So 22,500 visitors a month is the traffic that's existing here. This is without doing any work. This is the people that, and you can see here in the graph that the majority of them are new visitors as well to this site. So that, to me, if our rule of thumb would be, are we hitting a 2% conversion rate of traffic into new leads? So a website of this level of traffic, we'd be aiming to get it to around 40 to 50 new leads generated from that traffic at a 2% conversion rate. So again, there's no reason why we couldn't get a lead generation process in here, but we'd first start with, why is that traffic not converting? Is it the quality of traffic? Where's the traffic coming from? What are the sources of traffic? And then, is the website, has it been optimized for conversions, as I said earlier? This is why I say, don't just always panic about your lead generation. Start digging into where your leads are coming from, what sources of leads you're generating, and start optimizing your lead generation first. And then the conversions, really, to us, it's a checkpoint as a conversion on a website. It shows that someone's taken a desired action. So they've clicked a button, they've clicked a call to action, they've gone to a landing page and completed a form. So they've gone through to a thank you page. And then you can work out your conversion rate from there. So conversion rates are really important, that you understand them at every stage of your process. And as people move through your site, move through your business and your sales process, you have your conversion metrics in place that you're analyzing all the time and looking for where those roadblocks are. Where's a low conversion rate? How do we improve that? How do we optimize for a better conversion there? And it may be just adding a second or third stage into your sales process. So you have an initial 15-minute call that then leads onto an hour-long call, that then leads onto a strategy and planning call, which then leads onto a solutions presentation. So you have a very predictable sales process that every lead goes through. Make sure that's converting. So have a look at your conversions on your website and try and keep in your mind that 2%. So work out what monthly traffic are we seeing already, and then 2% of that, how many leads should we be expecting from that level of traffic? That's a key metric for you to measure, because then you can drive more traffic. You can always drive more traffic. That's not a problem. You can increase your traffic. And if everything after that traffic hitting your website is predictable from there on, you're going to grow the business and you're going to grow your lead generation. So question one, let's get on to the questions. We've got 5 questions this week. There are about 7 or 8 sent in over the last few days. So I had to pick just 5 to answer now, and the other ones that we didn't answer, we're just going to roll on to the next show, and when there's a relevant area, we'll answer those questions. So thank you to everyone who sent them in. Gary Davis sent me in a regular question that we get about focusing on generating a higher quality lead rather than a higher volume. He says his focus at the moment is on building connections with the right people. And he classes the right people as similar-minded people who share his values and ideals. So his question really focused around attracting the right people, good fit people to his business, rather than having a broad lead generation process that was bringing in leads from everywhere. And I think Gary hits it on the head really there. Back to our graphic here, he wants this side, he wants the better leads. So again, his targeting, I think, is key. Understanding his personas is key here. Who is a good fit person for your business, Gary? Look at your existing customers and say to yourself, who have you enjoyed working with? Who has had the most benefit from your services? So obviously photography, corporate photography like you, just think of sectors that you do really well, that you think they're a really good fit for me. So if it was business to business as you are, and you're looking for businesses, I'd say, I do really well with manufacturing businesses, or I do really well with the tech sector. And then look at the type of business and the people that you were talking to, those buyer personas that are here on the slide. Who are the buyers that you need to be in front of? And then focus all your time on those good fit people. The next thing is how engaged are they with your business? So what we would do is we would generate what we call a good fit matrix and run all your leads through this, because there's 4 types of people. I mean, I'd say there's another 2 types I'll touch on at the end, but there's basically 4 types of people. There's people who are poor fits and good fits. So a person who's a poor fit is probably not going to be someone you want to spend a lot of time talking to. You know, after you've had an initial conversation, you can see that what you offer and what they're looking for, that it's not really complementary. And you should also have understood from looking at your existing customers, as I said earlier, what a good fit looks like to you. So you've got on this side highly engaged poor fit people. So poor fit, highly engaged, I would say, is still worth your time to talk to and to engage with, to add value to. They're probably never going to become a customer because they don't fit your good fit profile. But what they are going to be is advocates for your business. They're the people that are liking your posts on LinkedIn. They're the people that are talking about you and commenting on your posts, sharing it with their friends. You know, you get a lot of students and people who come on our workshops, for instance, who are really probably never going to become a customer of ours because they don't quite fit our criteria of what we look for a customer. But they are people that we engage with all the time. And again, it's worth those relationships being nurtured and being kept highly relevant, even though if they're a poor fit. If they're a low engagement poor fit, i.e. they don't engage with you at all and they're a poor fit, then I would not be continuing conversations with them. By all means, give them value. Top right here is where we're really looking for. They're highly engaged with us as a brand. So again, for you, Gary, who are your highly engaged people who also tick all the boxes for a good fit for you? So those are the people who know you, know your brand, they engage with you, they like you. You know, you've already got the trust and authority piece that we always look for. Plus, they're a great fit for what you do. So again, that's where I would be spending all my time. And again, with small businesses, it's important that we focus all of our energy and our time on these type of people. These are the people we should be speaking to every single day. They'll all be progressing at different times. You know, not everybody's actively buying at the time we speak to them. And I think the stats are around 3% of people are only actually ready to buy when you speak to them. So that means that 97% of them are going to be buying in the future. So we need to nurture that relationship and they're in the early stages. So again, that would be my view on those people. The low engagement, good fit people, that's marketing's job to get that engagement up. You know, we know they're a good fit for what we do, but at the moment, they're not really engaging with us as a business. So they're not really engaging with us on social media. They're not visiting our website. They're not downloading our content, reading our blog posts. You know, that sort of engagement we need to nurture is all up to marketing now. Marketing should be accelerating that. So these people here become more engaged and move up into this bracket here. So that's how we would use a good fit matrix. The other 2 categories for leads that we're going to generate are hand raisers. So this will be someone who picks the phone up to you and says, I want to talk to you about your services. So that's someone who's a hand raiser. They're not a lead. They are a hand raiser who's saying, yes, I want to know more about your services. Now, again, we do the same process. Are they a good fit for what we do? Or are they a poor fit? So you'll have a good fit hand raiser who we would definitely talk. And hand raisers, remember, are going to convert 3 times quicker than any other lead. So again, we have to be differentiating, are they good fit or are they a poor fit? Because again, a poor fit hand raiser may be very keen for your services, but they may be a poor fit. Their industry may not be right. It might not be, after you've had an initial conversation, that their needs are going to be a good fit for what you do. So again, even with hand raisers, you've got to have this good fit matrix in mind. So hopefully that helps all of you. Again, this video is going to be posted on YouTube. So if you want to go back through this, you'll see. But again, Gary, that's what I would focus on. Identifying who your good fit people are, get them engaged with you. So get them into this quadrant up here and make sure that those are the people you're talking to on a daily basis about your services. It's just going to save you time, save you a lot of energy, and it's just going to focus your time on the right people. So that good fit person you're looking for. So question 2 was sent in by Nick, who's involved in a fitness business, Lean 6. And he asked, how do I drive organic lead generation in a fitness business. So not paid traffic. He's looking to generate leads organically in a fitness business. I take it's a fairly new business. And I actually know Nick from the gym I used to go to. So he's very much into his fitness and set this company up. So I'd say, Nick, the first thing I would do is focus on a very inbound mentality to your marketing. So not pushing your message onto people. And having looked on your website, I've had a good look through the website, and I think there's a few things I'm going to point out here. But the first thing is attracting the right people with relevant, helpful content and adding value at every stage of their journey. So I think using blogs, using social media, using videos, things like that. Obviously in fitness is a massive thing that people love videos. So YouTube should be a big platform for you for traffic coming through to the website. And then using marketing automation to nurture relationships. So as people engage with your content, you've got some system in the background. You know, we love HubSpot, so we'd use HubSpot to analyze what engagement you're getting on your website. So who's actually in your CRM and how are they engaging with your content on your website? And the reason I say focus on that inbound mentality is because you've got to have clear in your mind who that primary buyer persona is for fitness, because you can't go general. You can't just be going after people who are after fit loss, or after fat loss or weight loss. You know, you can't generally be going out because it's such a competitive market. I think you've got to really niche down and say, who's our primary buyer persona? You know, and looking at Lean Six, I think you're aiming at males, you know, because everything on your website says guys. So I'm assuming your gender is male. And I would say it's a 40 to 55-year-old male. You know, so you need to understand who that person is, you know, and what are his pain points, you know, what are his benefits he's looking to achieve. It may well be weight loss. It may well be that he's a part runner and part runs are coming back and he wants to get into shape for that. You know, he may be into diet and into weight loss and you're looking to lose some weight. It may be that he wants more energy in the day. Maybe he wants more clarity of thought because he's a businessman. So again, think about your buyer persona. Think really hard about who you're targeting and focus solely on him. So back to what I talked about with Gary, get yourself a good fit matrix and say, does this person fit this matrix? You know, is he engaged with us as Lean Six? Is he engaged with our content on the website? Is he engaged with us on social media? Is he on Instagram engaging with us, on Facebook? Is he on YouTube? And so again, you know who he is. Then start really digging into what his pain points are. What's his challenges? You know, is it motivation that's his challenge? Does he need some accountability from someone like you to really make sure that he follows through on everything he's going to do? You know, so what are his challenges and what's he trying to achieve? You know, and a lot of them have other interests as well. So I've mentioned part run there because that's one that's relevant to me. You know, and I know we met at the gym because I was going to the gym to get my part run time down. It was simple as that. I was over 30 minutes, got down to 27 minutes, and it was just a constant process. And but that was my driver. You know, that was why I would have used your Lean Six services to get my time down on my part run. But I may be a cyclist. There's so many people who are 40 to 55-year-old males who are out dressed up in their lycra cycling around. You know, it's not my thing, but there's hundreds of them. You see them all the time on the road. So again, is that his driver? Because that then you'll be able to go into groups on Facebook and find out, you know, who are the Lincoln cycle groups, who's the Lincoln running groups, who's the Lincoln park runners. You know, these are the people that are going to get you very focused leads. You know, these are the people that you're going to be helping. So I would start with your primary buyer persona and then really think through this challenges and pain points. You know, what are his questions that he's asking? You know, what's his sources of information? What are his other interests? And what's he trying to achieve? What's his goals? You know, what are his values? Yeah, get the demographics, you know, get the age, get his location, get his, you know, his obviously his gender's male, get all of the basic things, but then you've got to start digging into his psychographics of why would he use you. Okay, so that's my first piece of advice. Focus on that primary buyer persona and make everything on your website, all the copy, speak to him. speak to that 40 to 55-year-old male and speak about the different things that really interest him. Your blog should be full of things of like how to get your park run time down, how to enjoy your cycling more, all of these things that are the benefits of using your service rather than forcing the services down my throat, which I feel at the moment is a bit too talking at me. I think step back a bit and think, who are the visitors to our website? What are their challenges? So get very buyer-centric and then think about the stages he goes through. So what's the awareness stage that person has? What triggers him to start worrying about his weight, worrying about his running, worrying about his fitness, worrying about his weight loss? All of these things, there'll be a trigger somewhere that happens to him. So again, think about that and think about what content and what questions he's going to ask at that stage, and what content can you produce to answer those questions, because that will get you involved in the conversation far earlier here. And then through the consideration stage, he's looking at all his different options. So do I join the gym? Do I just go out jogging a bit more? Or do I start using a more scientific approach to my diet and to working out and to everything that you can offer? So you've got to go through all his different options he's going to have available, and again, give him advice. So you're helping him to make the right decision for him. Not everyone is going to use you. You've got to be realistic about that and say, but the ones who do show an interest in us, we should be doing everything in our power to help them. And then using reviews, case studies, testimonials. As I say, I talked a lot about videos for you, but that's how you do it. But I think focusing on one niche, one person in one niche, and really becoming the best at that is key for you. Because what you've got to do is differentiate yourself why you're better than anybody else out there at doing this. Because you're going to be in a very competitive market. And as I say, the narrower your niche can be, the narrower the person and the persona you're targeting can be, the better content you'll produce for him, the more you'll be seeming to understand what he's going through, and the more likely he is to use you at the end. And I think the other thing I always think is when we're in this sort of situation, we're trying to get someone from stuck to unstuck, and making that really clear of how this works. Again, on your website, I'd be laying out, this is where you are now, this is where you want to be, and this is the steps that Lean Six take you through to get you there. So again, have that really clear on your homepage would be my advice, and then differentiate yourself in that person's mind as to why they should be using you. And then your activity really is driven from that. So you've got your attract phase where you're doing your blog posts, you're working on your website content, your social media posts. I don't know if you use any paid ads yet on Facebook and Instagram, but again, that would be a great source of easy, highly targeted traffic, because you'd know the age group, you know geographically where you want to attract these people from, and also interests. In Facebook, everyone will be talking about the interests that they have. So you'll know you can target park runners in Lincoln who are male between 40 and 55 years old, and start getting messages out to those people. So highly targeted. And then on the other end, there's the SEO. So all these blog posts answering questions are going to be getting indexed by Google. People in Lincoln are going to start seeing your blog posts come up, your videos come up in Google. And again, it's just driving targeted traffic through to the website. Then make sure they're clicking on calls to action, going to landing pages, filling in forms, giving you information. So start small, and we'll talk about this later on. It's one of the questions later, but start with 2 or 3 fields of information that you need, and then slowly build that up over time, build your knowledge on your customer base, but get them in a CRM then and start engaging with them. And then slowly through marketing automation, you can nurture the relationships with them, email them regularly. Maybe you've got a newsletter you can enroll them into that you can send out to them, giving them free tips. And then what we would focus on is lead scoring those people that come back. That's the inbound part of this. Who out of all those people start coming back through your website and reading 2 or 3 of your blog posts? They start downloading your guides. They start, maybe you produce a 5 or 6 free video series that people can download to help them get started. Who's engaging with all of those? And then from that content they're consuming, you should be accurately able to work out what their pain and what their challenges and what their goals are they're trying to solve. So if it's all about fitness and park run, then they'll be reading all your posts on park running and how to get your times down in that. If it's about weight loss, they'll be looking at your I saw you had some different recipes on there for different foods. So again, their focus there is on diet and weight loss. So again, you need to be really specific, but when you engage with those people, you'll have very contextual conversations because you'll know what they've been consuming on your website. And then delight them once they've become a customer. We talked right at the start about the power of referrals. Once they become a customer, how do you put your arm around them and show them that you really appreciate their business, that you're there to look after them long term, and have they any friends that you think you could help as well? So again, you've got that delight piece. Even when someone's become a customer, we don't forget about them. In fact, we work doubly hard because they're the people that leave you good reviews. They're the people that will leave you a testimonial. They'll do a nice video for you. They're the people that will also be perfect for a cross-sell or an upsell. So if you've got another product that you think would interest them, then you can start talking to them about that. You've done this now. We've achieved this with you. Why don't we look at this? So again, get all of that mentality into your marketing and your lead generation process, but it's all born out of understanding who you're targeting and forgetting everyone else for now. Just go after that person and understand him inside out as well as he understands himself. And then use social media. I do think social media, you can see from what Joe Wicks did, he was very much a fitness trainer who then started releasing some of his recipes and his fast recipes on Instagram. And then he launched his books and his YouTube channel. I mean, I still have his videos in a playlist that I used for his HIIT training and things like that. So again, using YouTube for you and using social media really effectively is so important. And I think video content particularly is going to be really important for you. So use social media in the right way. But again, it's just attracting the right person. So you're using the content you're producing to target the right person and make sure that the Lean Six message gets in front of them. So hopefully that helps. The book I recommend for everybody on content is They Ask You Answer by Marcus Sheridan. Again, he talks about a lot of these subjects of how to connect and engage with people through content, how to use the right piece of content at the right part of the process, and really align how the modern buyer researches and buys things with how you market and sell to them. So I think that's the key piece with content, is that alignment, that we're all out there doing our own research. Before I ever go to the Lean Six website, I've already watched 15, 20 videos on YouTube. I've read lots of posts. I've done my own research. And then hopefully one of your posts comes up and helps me, and I start reading that. And then I watch a video, then I start engaging with you. So again, content is the heart of all of this, but that's born out of understanding that persona. So don't lose sight of that. It's that persona and the journey that they go on that we're trying to align with. So question 3, this was from Steve Webb from Dig Inclusion, from Dig Inclusion, sorry. And he was effectively saying, how do I best phrase an unsolicited email so that it grabs attention but does not come across as spam? Now, it sounds when I show it like that, it sounds quite a direct question. But what he was actually saying was that they've had a lot of success working with graphic design and web development agencies to introduce themselves. And he wants to basically have quite a targeted approach. He knows the industry he wants to target and a lot of the companies in that industry. And he wants to start reaching out to people within that industry because he's already had success with other people who work in that industry. So he knows it's a good target industry for him, and he knows there's a natural partnership within that industry. So I can see why you're asking the question, Steve. It's a good question, and it's something that people get right or get wrong. And I think to me, it's this whole mentality of being a megaphone versus being a magnet. I think megaphone, we talk at people, and it's the old way of marketing. It's hard selling to people. It is that spammy, that feeling that someone are pushing themselves on us, rather than someone who's educating us and attracting us, engaging and interacting with us, and having effective content. So that really is the difference between a marketer interrupting, which is what you're suggesting. You're interrupting my day by this message coming through on my email that I didn't ask for, versus the marketer who's basically I'm saying, yeah, happily get in touch with us. I can see why it'd be a good relationship. It's something I'd like to explore further. So again, the reason or your end goal is the same, but how you approach it is very different. And again, I think it goes back to this methodology, Steve, that I know we've spoken about before, of how we move people very naturally along this process. We attract, convert, close, and delight them. So again, the way I would do it, if I were you, is I would connect on LinkedIn first of all with people. I would get your list of, it's a very ABM approach, account-based marketing this is called, where you know your sector, you know it's graphic design companies and web development agencies you want to be in front of. So maybe do it geographically. So do all of them in Lincolnshire first, then do all of them around the country, but do it very, very targeted. And then I would get a list of all of those companies. So everybody that fits your good fit, your ideal customer profile, who are all those companies. And then what are the people within those companies that you would be speaking to first? So what are your decision makers? There's probably going to be a group of people who would make a decision to work with you, but there's probably one who stands out and you think, if I spoke to all of those, and again, your customers, your existing customers will tell you who that person is. And then I would make a list of all of those companies and all of those people and say, right, these are the people I need to connect with on LinkedIn. Connect on LinkedIn, not to sell to them, just engage with their posts, really have a very social approach to this. The people that engage back with you and you get in conversations with naturally, those to me are starting to become an inbound lead. Share a valuable piece of content, some sort of insight you've got, maybe a case study on how another agency in their sector has benefited from working with you. Start the conversation that way. Get them to download something so they then go into your CRM, and then you start lead scoring. So again, the inbound mentality I was talking about earlier, this lead generation has now switched from you pushing yourself out onto all the graphic design agencies to you getting into conversations with all the ones who've expressed an interest in what you do. Doesn't mean the others won't. It just means they're probably not in the right state of mind at the moment. You probably haven't set a light off in their mind with what you've sent them, so you can nurture that relationship, keep engaging with them. But that's how I would do it. I would not send a blanket email out to everybody in that industry, because to me, you're going to burn bridges. You're going to lose opportunities that you could maybe have nurtured in a different way. I would definitely focus on, this is our sector we're going after. Let's engage with them. Let's think of them as companies and what's valuable content for them that we can offer, and get those conversations started naturally, and then progress them along here. Have meetings with them, have conversations, set up a meeting, do it very naturally. But they'll feel they're leading it that way, and you'll have far more success than the other way, which I think will just burn bridges. In the modern day, we just block people that spam us, and I don't open any emails, to be honest, if they come through and they're not relevant to what I'm expecting. So that would be my approach, would be very much to engage them in conversation first, and then hopefully move that on to more of a conversation about how you could work together. So hopefully that helps. Melissa sent a great question in about lead generation forms, and putting how many questions we put on. So how many fields would you have on a lead generation form? And I think for me, Melissa, when we do a form, there's certain pieces of information that you need at different stages of engaging with people. So for me, I would keep it very, very small. First name, last name, and email address would be probably the three fields we would have on most of our very early awareness pieces. So if it's top of the funnel and it's quite a broad form, it depends what context the form's in. But if it's just a general conversion lead form, I would literally keep it to those three fields. Maybe company name, you could maybe go to that if you're in the B2B sector. But then as people progress, once they're in your CRM, and the whole key to this is triggering them into your CRM first of all, and then engaging with them and nurturing the relationship. And of course, you've got your chatbot as well, so that can ask different questions. And certainly when we use something like HubSpot, you can have dynamic fields. So 3 fields appear first, but then the next form will change, because when that person sees it, it knows you've already got that information, so it won't ask them those questions. 2 or 3 more questions or fields then move up into the next form that that person sees. So again, as you're looking at your forms, try and have a contextual view of who's seeing this form and what information do we need off them at that stage in the life cycle. And as things progress and relationships progress, you should be maturing the data you have on your CRM and all your contacts anyway. That should happen over time very naturally. I don't think there's anything worse than seeing a 20 field form to fill in when all you're doing is asking for an initial guide. And we have that even now. I go onto sites and someone's asking me for my inside leg measurement, and all I'm wanting is a 10-page guide that they've produced. So again, just be relevant. I think the more complex the industry you work in, probably the more information you're going to need off people, but they would expect that. They would, they wouldn't probably respond to just asking for three pieces of information, because again, if it was a long buying cycle and quite a complex process, I think they would expect to be in more of a conversation with you. So that would be my advice on it. But always keep in mind that it's part of conversational growth, is this. So all these touch points, forms are one of them, but all these touch points that visitors to your website will have with you are opportunities to gather data. So again, overdoing it in one place, I think, is a mistake. I think I would just keep the forms short, but have dynamic fields that are constantly asking for different information. And again, if you're on the phone with someone and you have their contact record up in front of you, you can see the gaps. You can see, oh, we haven't got a mobile number for so-and-so, so we'll ask them for that. Oh, we haven't got the company size. How many employees do you have in the company? What was the turnover? All these are all conversations that can happen over time. If you try to ask all of that in one form, I can guarantee that most people wouldn't fill it in. So you're actually, back to my earlier point about conversion, you're actually damaging your conversion there. Because people just aren't going to complete that form, whereas in the early part of the relationship, you need to get the details, get them in the CRM and nurture that relationship so you can share more value with them, start the conversations very naturally. So got chat bots, video chat, live chat, even messenger. If you're B2B, B2C and you're using Facebook a lot, then set up your Facebook Messenger to gather details as well. You can have forms in there, ask questions in there, and across other social media platforms the same. So on LinkedIn, you can ask questions. So yeah, don't get hung up on asking too much. I would keep the forms short and to the point and very relevant to where that person is on your site. Final question is Richard Warlow from Declaration. And he's very much into the metric side. So how are we going to measure the effectiveness of different lead generation campaigns? And to me, all of that is about improving it. If you're going to measure something, it's usually with a view to, once we know this figure, we need to get to this figure. So you're going to always be optimizing and improving. And lead generation is probably where you optimize and improve the process constantly. It's an ongoing thing. It doesn't stop after your first campaign. It's constantly being optimized just to improve. If you can get from a conversion rate of lead to customer from 20% to 25%, that's from 1 in 5 to 1 in 4, then again, that's a massive upturn without any increase in leads. Remember, all we've worked on here is improving that conversion rate. So back to my earlier point about you probably have enough leads and enough traffic coming through to start with before you need to generate new ones. Again, that's because you're measuring it. One of my favorite reports that we run through HubSpot is one that analyzes all of our lead sources and how much paid search has turned into visitors to the website, how many of those visitors have turned into new contacts, and then how many of those new contacts have turned into customers. We can do that for paid search, organic search, so people coming in through Google, through Bing. We can do it through referrals. So a referral would probably not be a physical referral of someone recommending us. This would be another website that has a link to our website on it. So that's a referral. They've clicked on that link on another website and come through to us. Email marketing. So how many people have come back to the website through our email marketing campaigns. Direct traffic would be people who've typed your URL straight in. straight into Google and come through to your website. So that's usually they've read it on a leaflet, or they've seen your website name somewhere and typed it in. Obviously, social media traffic, paid social. Again, there's a lot of fantastic campaigns run on paid LinkedIn, paid Facebook campaigns, obviously Google ads. Within Google ads, you can then run YouTube ads as well for videos. So again, knowing all of these lead sources, for me, this is a really valuable report to basically look at once a week, just to make sure I know what's being converted into customers and contacts in our CRM. So that sort of data is key to identifying what lead generation is working for us as a business. And then when you actually pull in revenue to this, you can have revenue attribution as well pulled into this report. It'll actually show you how much that's generated you in physical revenue. So for all of you out there who want positive ROI from your marketing, this is the nirvana, because it'll tell you paid search, we've spent this amount of money on our paid last month, and it's given us this amount of revenue in. So very, very easy to work out what's working and what isn't, and where your positive ROI is coming from. And I'd say, again, split your reporting up into your top of the funnel activity, middle of the funnel activity, and bottom of the funnel activity. So when you're reporting and your analytics is being, look at your social engagement, look at your social reach, but then how's that turning into leads in your database? You know, it's worth nothing if your social media isn't converting into proper engagement, clicks through to your website, and leads in your database. And again, with your website traffic, be measuring that. And then your content engagement, how people are clicking on your buttons, your calls to action throughout your website, how many people are visiting certain landing pages. All of this is important as middle of the funnel things. And also new contacts in your CRM. So how's all of that upper funnel activity turning into actual contacts in the CRM? And then at the bottom end, look at your customer reviews, customer referrals, your sales revenues. Obviously, the key thing that we're all trying to generate is revenue for our businesses. So that'll really be the bottom of the funnel metrics that tell you how everything above your lead generation is actually translating through your business into revenue. Finally, we use things like HubSpot's reports. They release these every year, ROI reports, and this gives us a real steer on how website traffic should be increased by following inbound processes, and how that website traffic should then be converted into leads. So you can see the size of your company and what you should be expecting after 3 months, after 6 months, after a year. So you can see 4 times your leads for a small company is what we would be expecting after 12 months. But a lot of that is from optimization work. It isn't from actually driving lots more new traffic through the site. It's just optimizing the website at every point to make sure it converts into leads. And this is why we're doing that, because we want to know a 20% increase in traffic gives us 10% increase in leads, 10 new customers will be generated, drives 100,000 additional revenue, and the customer lifetime value for that would be £500,000 for the business. So whenever we're working with clients, we're always trying to come up with a conservative, realistic, and a best case scenario. And all this is because we're measuring everything. So it's not because we are estimating what's going to happen. We say, we know we can achieve this. Most of the time will be around the realistic. Everything goes really well, and we have a best case scenario as well to get to. But again, it's just giving us a real clear steer on what someone's revenue goal is and how we're going to hit that. And it starts with lead generation in here, making sure all of that's then converting all the way through the funnel for them. Okay, hopefully you've enjoyed the show today. We've had some lovely comments. Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you, Shivam, for your comments and also for engaging with the show, sending your questions in. Any of you who haven't done the Leads and Revenue Growth Masterclass yet, it's 6 free videos that I produced. It's about 2 hours long. It also has a workbook with it. And it goes through the 6 key cornerstones to get right. So it goes through website traffic, it goes through lead generation, attracting good fit leads into your CRM. We go through conversions, so making sure that every stage of your process is converting. It also goes through how to produce higher quality, higher value clients, increase your revenue growth, and then how to build a system, use technology systems to leverage to really scale up that growth, but also to measure everything and make sure it's working. So say the bit.ly down here, I'll also have the link. I think the link is in most of our posts. So if you click through or just go to bit.ly/Leads Revenue 2021, you'll be able to sign up for that. And look, only three forms in there, Melissa, 3 fields to answer as well. So again, it's a great course. Everyone, the feedback we've had from it has been fantastic for everybody who's gone through it. So just take advantage of it. I'm sure you'll enjoy the videos, and hopefully you'll have plenty to take away and grow your own businesses. All right, thank you very much. The next show is going to be Wednesday, the 21st of July. It's going to be another guest joining us. And it's William Stokes this time, the founder of CoSpace. William's agreed to come on the show next time, and he's very much talking about the power of flexible working. So running CoSpace, he sees businesses who hot desk, he sees businesses who have short-term office space, long-term office space, but he really is passionate about flexible working and how it can benefit everybody as a business to have this flexibility. And I think we're all seeing it now. We're all starting to come back to face-to-face meetings with people. And so having that flexibility is something I think we're all looking at, especially with a hybrid model of working from home still and then having an office space. So that's on Wednesday, the 21st of July. Look forward to having William on the show with us then, and seeing you all then. So send your questions in. Any questions over the next month, we'll put to William and make sure that that's a valuable show for you as well. All right. Thanks for watching, and thanks for engaging with us, and see you all soon.